big welcome. Now I'm going to record. I'm sorry, there's a clicking in the background of this. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Gary, for starting the recording. All right, so a pleasant good morning to everyone. Welcome to the South London Network, PGR Network Internship. It's a mouthful, isn't it? But the point is, it's going to be some good fun. Congratulations to each of you for being accepted onto the program and for helping us pilot this. So I have a couple slides just to run through. We will be done within the hour and we've got some guest speakers along, and I'll introduce people as and when we need to as we proceed. So let me just get going with sharing the slide. I won't do the formal introductions today because I think we'll have a better opportunity to do that when we are actually face to face. And of course, let me introduce myself. So my name is Dr. Melissa Jogi, and I am at the University of Roehampton, and I am the leader of this this project here. And joining me is, of course, my project assistant slash manager slash host slash PGR, helping me with everything, Giri. Giri, do you want to say a quick hello?
Sure. Thank you, Melissa. Hi, everyone. Congratulations and welcome to this program. We look forward to working with you. As Melissa said, I'm a fellow PGR. My PhD is in dance studies, and I'm a student of the University of Roehampton. Looking forward to working with you.
Excellent. All right, so without further ado, let's just start sharing. Now, Gary, can you give me a heads up? Can you see that full screen?
Yeah, I can.
Excellent. Okay. So welcome to the orientation. We are recording this session just for you to view later on the project webpage, but also for anyone who may be a little bit late or just wants to go over some further information. So this is our agenda. So for the first 10-15 minutes, we'll do a little bit of a briefing, a welcome, and then we have Paul Kirkbright here from South London, from Big South London, who's able to tell us a little bit more about why you should perhaps think of working in South London. We'll go over what the program curricula will look like. It's been specially designed for this particular initiative, and then we will talk about the PGR platform and some ongoing support, including what some of the expectations might be in terms of your participation. All right. If you do have any questions, I'll ask you to pop them in the chat, and I believe I do have Giri who can pick up some of those questions, and I'm also got someone from the research office here who might be able to help with any further questions you might have regarding the scheme. Okay, so the PGR Network Internship, it is a cross-institutional network. We've invited many of you from different universities. We've extended it to the South London region for PGRs across different programs, so different backgrounds in terms of your disciplines, different stages in terms of your PhD completion, and also different universities. So at your institution, you may already participate in some sort of postgraduate development program. And we want to offer something that is not a repeat of what you're doing. We want to offer something that is highly innovative and really is trying to push you into the mindset of thinking, what if I don't get a job in my PhD area explicitly on what I want to do? What do I do then? And what opportunities are maybe available for you, and what are the steps you need to take to really make the best of those opportunities? So in order to do that, we have curated a bespoke curriculum, and thank you for, when you registered, that you gave some ideas about the areas of training that you'd like to maybe work on, because we have absorbed that, reflected on it, and then we came up with some key area points. So in many ways, you have helped co-design this bespoke curriculum, and we are getting some people to put together some of the skills, and I'll walk you through what those areas of focus would be. The business internship side of it. So you will be paid for 2 days of completing a business internship with a business placed in South London. 2 days is not a lot of time for you to actually be indoctrinated into the challenges and understanding the ethos and the culture of the business. But this internship is more a discovery. And what I mean by discovery is you step in and you are meant to visualize how you can make yourself an opportunity within the day-to-day runnings of this particular business. How can you understand and absorb the strategies of the business, their goals, where the direction and where they want to go, and how your skills might be able to be utilized in this particular business. So that's what we mean about it being a 2-day business internship, focusing much more on discovery, but we will provide some guidance for that for you in the course of the program. Critical dates. So the first thing to mention, of course, part of you agreeing to be on this pilot is you need to experience the full pilot. All right. So some of the dates that we need you to put in your diary are, of course, on June 6th, we'll be doing the face-to-face workshop at Roehampton. The hours will change slightly because I'm thinking I'm going to start the program at 9:30 and try to end at 3:30 with breaks in between. We will send you an agenda closer to the time so you'll understand exactly what you'll be doing and who will be facilitating each of those sessions. June 13th is an online workshop. Again, it will be maybe starting around looking at that 10 a.m. kind of start, and then building in a short break and working through towards 2:30, 3 p.m. I will provide that. It's also, based on the availability of speakers and what they're doing. So it's being shaped, it's work in progress. But just keep the dates in mind that these will be long days. So try and block them out in your calendar as best as you can. On July the 10th, we'll be doing the showcase event, which will be at the University of Roehampton. The times will be from 4 to 7 p.m., but you may want to get here around 3:30 to set up your poster, and we will have a lovely networking evening where businesses are coming in to meet you. And we already have, I'm speaking to 20 businesses tomorrow. So they are really keen to come in and hear what you do, what you can offer. And we will help you prepare your CV poster, which is what you'll have on display to talk to them about opportunities that you can work on together. The showcase event will be a nice, in a way, we're using it where you rank the businesses that you speak to, and they rank you as well. And we will match you with a particular business at the end of the day for you to do an internship with, which you'll negotiate with them before the end of September. So those are your critical dates. So right now I would stop sharing the slide. I'm going to invite Paul Kirkbright to tell us a little bit, to introduce himself. He's the program director at Big South London. A big part of this idea of running this type of pilot was engineered by Paul. And Paul's been part of the Big South London team since its inception. So without further ado, let me stop sharing and ask Paul to come on screen. There we go. Welcome, Paul.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Hi, Melissa. As Melissa says, my name is Paul Kirkbright. I revel in the title of Head of Knowledge Exchange and Partnerships at the South London Partnership. The South London Partnership is the sub-regional partnership for the London boroughs of Croydon, Merton, Sutton, Kingston, and Richmond. Forgot Richmond. Sorry about that. Apologies to anybody from St Mary's because I forgot your institution. Yeah, so that's the 5 southwest London boroughs from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock on the clock. And essentially that's the collaboration of the local government organisations, the borough councils, and etc. We do a wide variety of things in the SLP, from looking at economic development to employability and skills, looking at working with both our university partners and our college partners and business partners on developing strategy and ideas for advancing South London basically as a world-class place to live, study, work and invest. We do a lot of work with the health sector in particular, and have a lot of kind of employment support programs as well. So we do a wide variety of things. And one of the wonderful things that we do is something called Big South London. And I suppose I'd like to introduce Big South London to you because, in theory, Big South London should be doing stuff that makes South London an interesting place for everybody in this room to actually progress on and retain and start working and collaborating in South London. So if we get Big South London right, then we create opportunities for talented people, of which I would include everybody in this room in that definition, to move into opportunities, whether that's private sector or public sector or third sector, and retain those that ideas and that expertise and that talent within the region for not just the economic benefit of the region, but also for the societal and and environmental benefit of the region. So I've got a few slides just to explain what we are and what we do. The overall message is basically, if we do this stuff in partnership together, then we should create opportunities within organizations of all types for you guys to kind of progress on into once you've completed your programs of study. So can somebody just let me know when? Oh, hang on, you have to, Melissa, you'll have to give me permission to present.
Sure thing. Never, Paul, never.
Yeah.
Let me see how I can do that. Participants. Find you on the list here. There you go. That should do it now.
Magic. Right. So can somebody just let me know when you can see the
Yes.
slides?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, so towards a South London innovation ecosystem, what's Big South London all about? Or basically, subtitle is why you lot should stick around in South London to do some interesting stuff in South London. So the problem that we have with South London at this moment in time as a place is that our economy is basically not delivering enough quality opportunities. We've got low levels of business and community engagement with our sub-regional knowledge base, including our universities, despite the richness and diversity within that university curriculum, that university offer. It results, therefore, in South London having low levels of structured investment in R&D, our productivity lags, and constantly we kind of lack that kind of creative churn of high impact companies creating high value opportunities with high value jobs, which then has that vibrancy, not just for the companies that are involved, but also for the entire community. So the partners involved in Big South London kind of all came together and said, right, well, what can we do about that? And the headlines that we've got here in terms of the problems that we're trying to solve, this is the evidence base, is that, as you can see, South London, in comparison not just to the national average, but definitely into the London average, lags behind on a number of these key kind of vibrancy indicators. You know, like the headline says, the numbers don't lie. And in particular, the one I would flag up here is this investment in research and development per capita. The London average per capita of the workforce in terms of the businesses investing in structured R&D and innovation activities is about over £650 for London average. The South London average is £129 per capita of the workforce. So we've got that significant kind of investment gap in businesses investing in new ideas, new talent, a new pipeline of opportunities. So what we've tried to do with Big South London is kind of ignite and catalyse businesses and organisations doing more in cooperation with our universities, including with our students within our universities, to kind of drive up that productivity and performance, create new ideas, create new opportunities where businesses can invest in R&D and I activities, which will then further down the line kind of generate greater opportunities in terms of density of higher growth firms, the export intensity of those businesses, and ultimately driving up the number of graduates and postgraduates we have in the workforce, which then obviously has an impact on household income and the whole kind of GDP. If you think GDP and GVA are things that we should be measuring, you know, whatever your academic standpoint is on that. So I always try and use Ken Robinson, the late, great Sir Ken Robinson, in every presentation I do. And the analogy he used here is about, you know, kind of gardeners and plants. You know, gardeners, you know, basically plants grow themselves. The job of a gardener is to create those conditions for that to happen. So good teachers create the conditions for great learning, and poor ones don't. And when we kind of take Sir Ken's analogy there of kind of, you know, creating the conditions for growth and map it across to what we're trying to do in terms of Big South London and creating opportunities for high level, high value employment in South London, is all about creating the conditions for growth. So this is a piece of work that Accenture did way back in 2013, looking at the kind of Silicon Valley model for kind of a tech innovation ecosystem. And this is what I would call is the kind of conditions for ideas, you know, the culture that you want to actually kind of embed. And if you look at the top left-hand corner of this diagram, in terms of where it says great weather, desirable metropolis, world-class recreation, tech-savvy culture, diversity and tolerance, with the possible exception of great weather, which we know can be a little bit changeable in England, in the UK, South London has all of that energy and that power that is coming from the Silicon Valley sun and is energizing and powering the Silicon Valley model in South London. it is a very desirable place to live. It does have world-class recreation in terms of some of the infrastructure that we have, you know, Kew Gardens, etc., the great parks and green spaces that we have, the great culture, the nightlife, the arts and theatre that we have in South London. It is a very tech-savvy place. We have lots of really interesting businesses doing lots of really interesting things right at the kind of cutting edge of some of the things that are going to, you know, fundamentally change the way that we do things, from environmental technology through digital and data, all the way through to bioscience. For example, with the London Cancer Hub in Sutton. The London Cancer Hub in Sutton, which is a partnership between Sutton Borough Council and between the Institute of Cancer Research, is a place where huge breakthroughs are being made on cancer treatment and diagnosis and patient support, alongside the Royal Marsden. So we have all these kind of knowledge, technological assets in South London. It is a fantastically diverse community as well. And I think that's a great strength of it. And you only have to wander around South London to get that sense of diversity. And also, it is an incredibly tolerant place as well in terms of the culture within the communities that reside within South London as well. So what we're trying to do, in a nutshell, with Big South London, is take that learning from other places that have looked at this kind of innovation-led growth models and build that innovation ecosystem, which will enable businesses and individuals and academics to kind of thrive and create a culture of innovation, creativity. And the key thing here, particularly for the people in this room, is the application of research. So that research which has been born within the lab and born within the classroom, within our higher educations, finding a home, finding a location within South London where that learning and that insight and that expertise can be applied. And what we want, obviously, alongside that is a very high level of academic visibility, which is why we kind of like designed and came up with the idea for this program that Melissa is now leading on, which is about looking at how we can put talented individuals into businesses and organizations that need their expertise and insight to advance the development of their business. And hopefully, somewhere along the line, create an opportunity for the people that are doing that to continue those collaborations beyond just that one-off interaction. And obviously, then we've got our strategic objectives at the bottom there, which is about driving productivity, supporting South London's response to the pandemic, how we can build our innovation capacity moving forward just beyond this phase of development. We know that there are several key sectors in South London that we want to particularly support around bioscience and health and care, around the creative and digital industries, but also around environmental technology, low carbon, and net zero transition. And then a key element as well is about how we work with businesses. And this is what we hope we achieve with this programme. We work with businesses and we position talent into businesses that have previously not worked with universities. And that's a key objective. And this is how in innovation ecosystems development, you get that flow of talent and insight and relationship building across these key audiences. And obviously, I've bored Melissa to death, she's heard this say this many times, is that it's people that populate ecosystems, not organizations. So when you look at your participation in this program, look at it as an opportunity to build your relationships with other people in other organizations and across other networks, because it's those people that will provide you that insight and that support to advance you in your career, whether that is continuing in academia or whether that is moving out into a field of applied research within the workplace. So very briefly, big in overview, we're building some spaces. So between now and the end of this year, we'll be launching 9 new affordable workspaces across South London that people can use and access in each of the 5 boroughs. We're building that partnership between our university partners, our further education colleges and the boroughs to look at how we can plan more in the long term for how we invest in South London. And then we've got a series of knowledge exchange services and programmes that are running right across South London, working with businesses, the third sector and other organisations to look at driving up that exchange between the knowledge base and businesses and organisations that need access to that advice and support. We have a wide variety of partners, and I'm delighted that we've got so many partners involved in this programme in terms of having PGR participants on this from across several of our institutions. But this is the kind of breadth of the partnership, a very wide variety of different type of institution, from teaching intensive post-92 institutions to specialist institutions, all the way through to research intensive institutions like, for example, the Institute of Cancer Research and indeed Roehampton. So that's the partnership, and those are the people that are involved. And we have a number of programs currently running across South London, looking at how businesses can support in terms of innovation within supply chains, looking at how we can specifically target support to priority sectors such as low carbon or creative industries or health and care, looking at how we can work with slightly larger organizations on looking at intrapreneurship within bigger companies, not just entrepreneurship within startups. A design lab, if you're not familiar with the design lab model, find it out on our website, because it's an opportunity to work with like-minded individuals on solving, creating solutions to kind of integrate hard kind of wired problems within communities across South London, whether that's in health or environment or economic issues. So Design Lab is a very interactive kind of open to all approach, where we facilitate discussions between people who have challenges and problems and people with expertise and insight who can create solutions to those problems. And we've also got a wide variety of kind of innovation voucher schemes and mini KTP projects that are currently running across South London. So what are we trying to do? Well, the headline is about creating conditions for sustainable, inclusive growth. And that has to be built on a strong culture of research and innovation support. We're looking for our universities, and they have responded to this challenge quite beautifully in terms of doing even more, even better, more locally. And what we want to do ultimately is create that ongoing relationships between our business base in South London and our knowledge assets within South London to make South London that must-be location to live, work, study and invest. The one that I've skipped over on this slide is this one. And this is what this program is all about. It's about developing a pipeline of talent and ideas between the knowledge base within our universities and the opportunities within our local business community. And I hope that if you get nothing else out of participating in this program, it will be about developing your networks and your connections and your visibility with some of the organisations in South London who will be really interested in your work. And obviously, what we do hope that for some of you, that will be about an ongoing relationship with that employer, potentially moving on to work with that employer in the longer term. And at that point, Melissa, I've probably spectacularly gone over my time, so I will shut up, and I'm happy to take any questions from anybody about what we're trying to achieve with this programme or with the broader Big South London programme. But just I'd hope you have a whale of a time on this programme. I hope you get out, and I really look forward to meeting everybody face to face in Roehampton at the presentation day in July.
Thank you so much, Paul, for that whistle tour. Very well packaged. We have some time for questions for Paul. Now, I really liked the fact that you gave an oversight in the vision and some of the work that's being done. For our PGRs, many of you are in your program, you're heavily condensed into your topic, your research. And I think the workspace that's being shaped around you, that employment environment, happens very quickly. And there are changes in the way that funding is moving towards innovation. And these are being impacted by the major policy stakes, which I think the Big South London agenda is trying to address. So that net zero, the transport, the big major headline ticket issues. This is where the root and the heart of research, ongoing research, is going to lie. And also it's the root at which employability is going to lie. So how do you take your wonderful personalized topics and discipline and direction and push into this space that will help you optimize your skills and your abilities? And I think Paul has given us a lovely oversight. So any questions, all the really hard questions for Paul on the South London vision, direction, or the work?
I mean, if it helps to jump in there, Melissa, I think, you are residents of South London, so your day-to-day lived experience will be right at the heart of some of the challenges that South London is facing. If anybody has ever tried to get from Kingston to Croydon between 3 and 6 o'clock, you know that we have significant issues in terms of transport infrastructure. We have somewhere in the region, I think, about 33% of London's population, but about 13% of its underground stations. So there's a huge infrastructure challenge there. We know that there are challenges in terms of healthcare and delivering healthcare to very diverse and sometimes disparate communities, and how things like digital technology will impact on the delivery of healthcare, and what that means for digital technology infrastructure. Everybody wants to have digital devices in their home that can manage their health conditions so they don't have to go into hospital or go to a GP, but nobody wants a 5G mask in their backyard. So, there's these kind of like what the theorists would call kind of, tricky problems. There's then that whole issue of the fact that as an economy, we're very reliant on low GVA industries. So, we have a lot of tourism, we have a lot of retail, we have a lot of the sectors which aren't particularly productive in terms of when you measure GVA. Now, you could turn around and say, why bother measuring GVA? It's a complete waste of time. You look at things that are more meaningful. But how we kind of encourage more high-tech, high-value industries into South London, and how we look to particularly invest in those industries that we already have expertise and are basically world-class leaders in already, creative and digital, and how we sweat our knowledge assets, of which you are our knowledge asset. So how do we sweat the talent that you have by linking that talent into opportunity within South London? Because if we don't create those opportunities in the things that we're interested in, you will just simply go somewhere else where they are doing things that you're interested in. So, and that's not a good thing for me. It's a good thing for the other place, but it's not a good thing for me. So, it's how we can, use the kind of resources that we have within this program and the broader Big South London opportunities to plug your ideas and your talent and your enthusiasm and your insight into some of those big ticket items that South London is actually facing. And what I'm absolutely sure is I do not have all the answers for South London. So it's also about creating opportunity and creating the opportunity for surprises. Where is the next really kind of leap forward thing going to be? And the interesting and exciting thing for me is it in this room? Is this the genus of the next big thing of what happens in South London? I always say not everybody needs to be the next Einstein or the next Steve Jobs or the next Crick and Watson, but it would be really helpful if a couple of you could be, just to and stay here to do it. So yeah, the problems are tricky, resources are short, time is against us, and those big headline problems of demographic change, delivery of public sector services, and probably the biggest of all, a sustainable and equitable transition to net zero. Those are the things that are in my head.
Thank you, Paul. No pressure at all for our participants. We've got 2 more minutes that we can ask questions to Paul. Anyone's got a question? Can pop it in the chat or feel free to unmute. No?
I've obviously stunned everybody on a Monday morning. Either that or everybody was out enjoying the sunshine in a pub yesterday afternoon. So look, Melissa's got my contact details. If anybody wants to follow up on anything particularly as you go through this program and go through your journey, what I should have said as well, Melissa, and an apology, is what we are hoping is that you will have some input from other people within the partnership, from some of our borough partners, and indeed potentially for some of our other university partners. So you will encounter people from within the SLP and within the 5 boroughs as you participate in this programme. And just to say, really looking forward to meeting everybody in July at the presentation day. And I hope you enjoy the programme.
Thank you very much, Paul, for taking the time to be here. And do stick around if you want to, or if you've got a busy day ahead, that's fine too.
I've got to step off, but nice to see everybody and good luck.
Thank you, Paul. We'll catch up later.
Bye.
All right, so moving on. So Paul has basically put that overview, that overarching idea of what we're working towards in terms of that big vision. Now, the real question, especially now that he's left, is how do we get from where we are into that vision, right? And your research hats will be on, thinking, what are the steps? What is the structure? And where does the support need to come from? So bearing that in mind, let's talk about your curriculum that you'll be doing on the program. Right, so hopefully, Giri, can you give me a go ahead? Can you see that?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Yes, excellent. Okay, so we are going to be looking at 4 ontological topics. And by that, we won't be able to cover in a 2-day curriculum, of course, A to Z on all of these ideas. But this is some of the critical information that we think you need to have in terms of the skills development component of the work. So we're going to be doing a session on communication and networking. Now, I've seen communication and networking being done in various programs and training programs really poorly, about just putting people in a room and hoping things work out. But what are your skills, really? Where are your strengths? And in networking and communication, it's a lot about making that right pitch, being able to use non-academic language to say what you can do, regardless of the discipline you come from. What can you do? Can you clean that up such that a 10-year-old can understand what you can do and why they'd pick you on their team? With the networking component of it, as much as you know your core strengths for networking, it's really important that we know our weaknesses. So if we can identify what some of the weaknesses are and pair with each other or have discussions with each other on how we can improve those particular networking to get a better balance of networking skills, because the same skills won't particularly work in every environment. So we have a really good session on using some, which I just got confirmed this morning, which is great, using some gaming technology and some survey information to actually bespoke out what are these particular strengths and weaknesses. And we'll be kicking off our session focusing on that. The second skill set is project management, and this is where I've involved a bit more of Paul's colleagues who've been running and working in local government for quite some time, in higher mid to high level leadership roles, to talk about managing dynamic portfolios and project management, some of the issues that you'll encounter. Now, from a research standpoint, project management takes a very different mindset compared to something in the business or the corporate mindset. Okay, so project management for research is maybe largely down to your Gantt chart, your milestones, you personally managing components of your chapters and the work that you need to deliver. Maybe in your specific jobs, you might already have some components of how that is different in the research world compared to when you're working with teams of people, and how project management will take on different challenges based on the curbing of your resources, or the issues of people not being available, or just general disagreements across the team. How do you get persons involved to do better delegation, and to have deliverables where they're meeting the agenda of the team. So what are some skills? What should we know about project management? What's the mindset in an industry around project management? And where are some of your strengths, ongoing strengths and weaknesses with that? Financial management and data analysis. I was quite surprised, but not so surprised, but I was very surprised about how each of you, coming from different disciplines, many of you were able to echo financial management as being one of the key driving components of you understanding how businesses work. So financial management and data analysis, what do we need to know in terms of how money or budgets dictate the strategies and the aims and the agendas of the business? How do they determine that this is a core area that they need to focus on? What is proper risk management? So we're hoping to give you, I'm not sure if people wanted more of an Excel kind of demo on increasing their Excel skills, but we'll get some feedback from you about that. But just a bit more of oversight. So we're creating activities to complement. It won't be like 4 lectures. It will be 4 taster sessions with these individuals, and activities that will help you work through. So there's a component of it is some own work that you do in your own time to help finesse those skills. So we'll be able to provide some activities around that for you. And the CV builder, academic to enterprise. So how do you take your CV that you currently have, which might be more of an academic CV, and convert that into something that is more business savvy? So we'll be doing some specialized training on Canva, and understanding across the current employable frameworks, what are some of the skills and how you need to showcase the strengths of your CV. And this will help you develop your poster, which you will be putting together for your showcase night. So this is basically the program curriculum of work that we have planned. How do you engage with this program? So of course, we're going to have some key speakers. We're going to have activities for you to do in the session, activities and resource packs for you to do some exploration in your own time outside of the session. But we are facilitating an online Moodle platform where the content will be put up, including today's orientation, but also summaries of the talks or those extra resources. So we will get you each to create a profile on this Moodle platform, and this will be essentially your hub. And it will be the space that you will each be able to communicate with each other. There will be forums on there, so it will be your home base. Because at the end of it, the 30 of you are going to become your own network, our piloting network for this program. And should we move forward, maybe some of you might come back and participate on it, start running it, take it over, whichever direction it really takes. So we will be doing a bit of assessment along the way to get your feedback on how each of these components as we move through it was helpful or can be improved. So the expectations of the program. So you are expected to engage on the platform, and we will be providing support on how you can set up your page and how you can get onto that platform. It's still currently under development. We had one little snag with the email confirmation that I'm working through at the moment, but it should be ready pretty soon. And Giri will be in touch with helping you with that. So we expect some platform engagement, some conversations happening. It is your space, your domain, so please do utilize it. Feedback on completion for the pilot analysis at the end of each session, including today, we'll send you a quick survey. We really do appreciate if we can understand how clear things were, your level of motivation to be involved. If you think what we have covered is helpful, and of course your experience through the program as well. It's really important that we know the lessons learned, so next time if we have to run it, we can be much more aware of those points going forward. Attendance and engagement in sessions, so you are expected to, as I said, the critical dates to be involved. From a research standpoint, if you drop out or you miss sessions, we'll have missing data, and that's not really helpful if we want to evaluate this program. So you're kind of part of a research program here, but also part and parcel of this skill development, which we will be able to analyze going forward. And testimonials regarding the prep and the post-internship completion. And in order to make these testimonials a bit more flavorful, I'm going to offer a blog competition. Don't underestimate the power of blogs. Blogs can be a really nice opportunity to open doors into networking spaces that you never expected. I got a directorship role from writing a blog about my experience on a leadership program. So who knows, one of you might write a killer blog and take over the South London networking internship. I'm going to look for 3 blogs to publish on the project webpage as sort of testimonials. They'll be about 600 to 800 words in length, and 3 winners will get a £20 Amazon voucher. So your submissions will be in before September 20th. You must have completed your business internship so that you're able to say how you felt that discovery process went, working with that particular business, and comment a bit more across the experiences of the whole program. So if you are keen on writing a blog, do take some little journal notes from now in terms of what you expect of the program, and then you might be able to do a nice commentary at the end of it of what happened or how those expectations were flourished and met. Okay. Further support. So Giri is, of course, we thought it would be really good if we got a PGR student on the project to help also augment his leadership skills, his capacity to be part of this and to shepherd around components of pulling this project together. So all capacity building. Gary will be in touch much more regularly than I will. He will be able to send out instructions for joining the online platform and support you in terms of getting on that Moodle page. Bear in mind, there are no exams on that Moodle page. We're all so traumatized by Moodle being exam and essay submission. So there is no sort of assessment with this internship. He will be your point of contact for queries and access to resources. If you need copies of stuff, Gary can digitally guide you around what you're looking for. Gary will also support you with the CV printing and the completion of your CV posters, so he'll be regularly in touch. On organizing the payment forms for once you've completed the internship, we'll be able to transfer you the 2-day payment to your accounts. And he's also our social community leader. So on those agendas, we might do a little Roehampton tour, or, you know, he's just a good point of contact. Gary, do you have anything you want to jump in and say?
No, I think you've pretty much covered it all, Melissa. Thank you very much. You've made my job easy today. And yes, as Melissa says, feel free to get in touch with me. You can send me an email. I'm quick to respond. So if you have any questions at all regarding whatever was mentioned today, please feel free to drop a line and I should be able to respond.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So that leaves us with about 50 minutes for some Q&A from you guys. So can I hear from people on how are you feeling? Are you confused? Do you think this is the right place for you? Are you excited? What are you looking forward to? Do you have any questions about the program? So you're able to pop this in the chat now, or unmute. Feel free to unmute and fire away.
I don't have any questions apart from it sounds really interesting and I'm really happy to be on board.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
I think Bijal has a question.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't have a question. I have the same feelings. I'm really excited, looking forward to meeting you all in person and doing this, put together the research with the business and help the whole community. I mean, it's beautiful. Thank you for the opportunity. And yeah, looking forward.
Thank you, Bijal. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Charles.
I think it's okay. Sorry, I think it's amazing what you've put. This experience is amazing. This is exactly what I need, you know, to be able to bridge my experiences with recruiters and how I've developed myself for the job industry, especially enterprise. So this is amazing, and I'm looking forward to getting the best out of it. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. No pressure on me putting this curriculum together. I mean, I can't disappoint now. We've got a couple more people.
Right.
I just forgot to introduce myself. I'm Bijal Rudwani. I'm from Kingston University, and my research is in interdisciplinary finance and marketing. So I'm particularly looking at the consumer behavior with the help of electronic word of mouth. So lots of social media data and trying to match it with the firm performances and in the profitability. So I'm from the Kingston Business School. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Zara had a question.
Yep.
They raised their hand.
Hello all, good morning. Thanks for all the explanation and clarification about the scheme, and I appreciate all the thoughts. So I'm happy to join your scheme. I'm happy to join this internship, but I'm a little bit confused at the moment. I'm not sure where we're heading. Are we supposed to meet businesses, meet entrepreneurs? I don't know. Employers and then just collaborate with them, or is just a collaboration among us? Should we, get along with each other? Is this as a group work, or is this? I'm a little bit confused in these subjects. So
good questions. So you will be working on the training as a group together. right? But you're attending like you would a course. So that would be up to individually, you'll be just all together in that sense. With the business showcase, we at Roehampton are inviting businesses to come and meet you. And at that showcase event, they will be able to say, oh, we really like Zara's work, we like Bajal's work, we like Megan's work, we would like to work with these particular individuals in our business. And then Megan, Bajal, and yourself will say, oh, we really liked working with, you know, this industry or this industry. And then when we get that data, we will match one business for you to go and spend 2 days with.
Okay, okay. Now
Yeah.
now it's clear. So it's a great opportunity then. Thank you. Yeah.
No worries.
Megan's raised their hand, but before that, we have a question on chat. So this is from Daniel. So the question is, do we need to bring anything with us on the 6th of June?
Nope, just if you want to bring your laptop, that might be encouraged, so you can log in to pre-charged, by the way. You can log in if we have any sites that, if in case we run into any difficulty in getting your login at Roehampton, because some of you are not students here, so you won't be able to go in directly. So if you are able to bring your laptop, that would be great.
Yeah, over to Megan, and after that, send him. Yeah.
Thank you, Giri. So morning, always lovely to come see everyone and hear about the the project. I'm kind of excited for what we might kind of get from it. And I suppose I had a quick question for you, Melissa. You sort of said at the beginning you're at the moment reaching out to businesses and things like that. And I wondered how you're sort of enticing them in and what they think they sort of might get from us. What are they expecting, I suppose, in terms of why they might want to get involved with the project?
Very good question, Megan, and you're preparing me for the talk that I have to give them tomorrow. So in terms of enticing them, I think there is some opaqueness between how businesses recruit. Can they be more strategic in terms of recruiting, I want to say, the right kind of talent that would help them in their efficiency and in the processes that they're looking for. So normally recruitment would be putting out a call and who's interested, like a regular job. But in terms of understanding what research students have to offer, this is perhaps a new dimension in the slice of that pie. So when they come and have an experience of talking to you guys, we hope that we would have you prepared to the point that you're able to say, yes, my PhD is in looking at, looking at ants with wings, right? But while looking at ants with wings, I've been able to develop my skills to be diligent in terms of data monitoring. And that diligence means that I can set up a process on an Excel file and I can problem solve and I can code. So if your business has this kind of diligence to data collection that you need to understand, I can help with XYZ. So it's about going from that very abstract, obscure component of your research into skills that the business may not see that is insightful and helpful for them. And that's where we hit on that word innovation, because that's the interface there. So I'm selling it on the point of your talent and the experience that they're going to have coming in and meeting you.
Great.
No worries.
Linda?
So can you hear me okay? Perfect, that's great. Well, thank you very much for this wonderful workshop. And my question is, suppose you had a sort of prior work experience and you really want to move on to a completely different sector. How viable is it? Or would there be any sort of opportunities provided by this sort of by this particular sort of workshop or the conference? So that's my question. Thank you.
So just to clarify, you're maybe coming from a particular work experience background where you maybe work with some types of businesses exclusively. So say you want to move out of that and have a new kind of experience. Yes. So what I can tell you guys is you're not likely to get businesses that are aligned with your research. So I know some of you work in labs and some of you have requested maybe access to certain businesses in the industry sector that work with pharmaceuticals or work with, we can't guarantee that those would be the businesses we will get, because the aim of this is to try to be dynamic and different. We have no certainties post PhD that you will land a job in the sector that you want. So Madame, if you have that experience already, then doing something unfamiliar might be advantageous for you. So it's a bit of a stretch challenge. Can we deploy you into these puzzle, obscure businesses, and can you problem solve and find your way through it, and give us feedback on how that went. So it's a whole new low risk, because it's 2 days, right? So it's low risk, but it's also immersive. So just enough of a commitment for you to have a taste of it. And that will give you adequate experience should you want to try this again on your own, to cold approach a business completely out of the box and go for a job. So I think it will plug the gap in the kind of skills you need to think about being a lot more creative about where you can work.
Thanks, Melissa. Now,
Thank you.
Ogli Anne has got a question. What will the internships be like?
The actual experience. So I'm imagining you might have a little bit of a induction process. We will introduce you to the business online and have someone who can, for the 2 days, be a chaperone and look after you when you're there. Because you're entering the business without having done their training and their health and safety and all of that, it would be, I'm expecting you won't go in and get into their data system and be able to access too much of their content, right? So it will be much more of an observation, go in there, meet people, use your new communication skills, get to know people in there, try and ask questions about the business. So you're getting an opportunity to spend 2 days behind closed doors. And I think that is what the experience will be, and how that is customized will come down to you and the business itself. All right.
Right. Zara has got another quick question. Does the internship start at the end of our 4th session?
Yes, so the internship will start after you do the showcase event and we match you with a business. So I'm guessing by the end of the showcase event, within a week, we would be in touch with the business that we've paired you with, and we'll put you in touch with them. And then it's up to you to organize with them how you're going to complete those 2 days with your calendar, their calendar, before September 20th. So we would like you to finish the 2 days before September 20th so that you can write that award-winning blog and get it back to me. No worries. Really good questions, guys.
We still have about 7 minutes. Oh, we have another question from Daniel. After the internship has taken place, is there any plan for us?
Ooh, you all want to come work for me? So plans for you. So after the internship, I think we'll do an assessment of the program, put together a bit of a report on how things went, which you can access, okay? If based on your feedback, you know, we would think that if this pilot goes really well and we're able to roll it out into something across London in a much more dynamic way, pending funding, pending the success, you know, we're going to try something. Some of it will work, some of it won't work. That's just good project management, risk management, things like that happen. Contingency opportunities. You might tell us you needed more than 2 days. You might tell us 2 days was too much. So based on that, we will take the feedback and we will, essential why you need to give it to us. We will make considerations with our resources. I think for you, if you really want to continue being involved in some capacity, we might, if we make it into a big event, invite you to be involved in that wider networking agenda, maybe as an ambassador from the first pilot. So there are opportunities, I think, to write you in to having a role, and it's also a network in and of itself. So being the test pilot, we can take it from there.
Right, thank you. Due to time constraints, we'll take one final question, and that's on the chat box. Do we get to know the businesses we would meet before the showcase day?
In anticipation of, I will try my best to put together a mailing list of the businesses that might be attending when we send the agenda through for the showcase event. So we will try to confirm that as best as we can of the businesses. Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll try and put that forward so you can have a look beforehand of who's going to be there.
Excellent. So thank you, Melissa, and thank you, everyone. And if you have any more questions, you can always email them to me. And if I know the answer, I'm going to send you the reply. If not, I'm going to direct the question to Melissa, who would be answering it. All right.
All right, thank you, everyone. And I do look forward to meeting you face to face. It sounds like we have a very engaging group of individuals who are really looking forward to this opportunity. So thank you for your time, and we'll be in touch. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you again all. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Gary, can we stop the recording?
Yes.
Thank you.